back to Deep Techno Elite. I am Deepmala Vakode. In the previous session, we have learned how to apply the zoom in and zoom out effect on the card image, as well as we have worked on about section and we have applied some CSS to our web page. In this session, I am going to show you how to design a contact us form and footer to our web page. So let's get started. Underneath the end about comment, now let's create another comment, start contact. Copy and paste it. Change the text to end contact. Inside the comment, now let's add the Jumbotron. For that, I am going to create a div followed by a class Jumbotron. Add one more class, container fluid. Inside the div, I am going to have a h2 element with a class text center. Now let's have a content here, say contact us. Save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. As you can see, we have created a Jumbotron here. Now let's go ahead and create a contact us form. After the Jumbotron, now let's create a div followed by a class container. And a class text center. Inside the div, I am going to have a row. So let's create a div with a class row. Now let's have a column here. For that, let's create a div with a class col-lg-6 for large screen or desktop and col-md-4 for medium screen or tablet. Now let's have one more div. Inside the div, I am going to have a paragraph for the address. Let's have one more paragraph for the email address. And one more paragraph for the contact number. Now let's have one more column. Now let's have a div with a class col-lg-6 and col-md-8. I am going to add a form element here. This is the default bootstrap form layout in which styles are applied to form controls without adding any base class to the form element. Form element is used to collect input from user. Inside the form element, let's create a div with a class form group. Form group class used to ensure the proper margin of each form controls. Now let's add a control. Input. The input element represents a type data field. Be sure to use appropriate type attribute on all input. Here I am going to specify the type to text. Now let's add a class form control. Textual form controls are styled with the form control class. To identify the elements, now let's specify the unique identifier. Next, I am going to have a placeholder attribute. Value will be your name. Now let's copy this div and paste it here for 3 times. Now let's change the value of some attributes. First will be type email and then ID will be email and placeholder will be your email. Subject. In the last div, I am going to have a text area. The text area element represents a multi-line plain text edit control for the element's raw value, followed by a class form control. Rows equals to 5. The number of visible text lines for control and placeholder attribute with the value message. Now let's add a button. For that I am going to create an anchor element with a class btn, btn primary and btn large. href will be hash. Send message. Save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. So we have created contact us form successfully with the 2 column containing address and the form to send the message. Now let's move on towards the end of this tutorial. The last thing we have to do is to add a footer to our web page. Below the end contact comment, now let's create a comment. Start footer. Copy and paste the comment. Change the text, end footer. Inside the comment, now let's add a footer element followed by a class py-3 padding from the top and bottom, page footer and bg dark. Now let's add a div with a class container inside the div. Let's have a row. For that, now let's add a div with a class row. Inside the row I am going to have 2 columns, so let's make a div with a class col -lg -8 and col -md -8 and col -sm -12. Now let's have a heading element h6 with a class text uppercase, font weight bold, and text white. Text will be additional information. After that, I am going to have a paragraph here with a class text white. Now let's copy some text. Now let's create one more column with a class col -lg -4 and col -md -4 and col -sm -12. Now let's copy the h6 element and paste it here. Let's change the text to contact. Now let's have a paragraph with a class text white Now let's add address here. You can add a break element here for line break. Now let's add email ID. Let's add break element and a contact number. After the row, now let's create a div with a class text center and text white. Copyright. Add a copyright symbol and copy semicolon. Deep Techno Elite. And 2020. Save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. To have some space here, let's add a row before the footer. Div with a class container. Inside the div, now let's have a row. Save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. Here we have created contact us from and footer for our web page successfully. Now the last thing I am going to do is to add some font awesome icon to our web page. Now let's go to the browser and search font awesome 4. The first link fontawesome.com is appear here. Go to the link. On the home page, just click on the icons. As you scroll down, you can see the icons here. Click on the address card O icon. Copy this I tag with the font awesome icon and paste it here before the name. Similarly, for the email, let's find the icon. Click on the icons. I am going to click on envelope open O icon. Copy this I tag and paste it here before the email ID. Similarly, for the phone, let's find the icon. Simply search here phone. Click on the icon. Copy this I tag and paste it here. Save the changes. Before we go to have a look at our web page, let me show you that I have forgot to mention in the font awesome link here, mention the relation style sheet. Now save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. So we have added the font awesome icons here. Now let's add some style to our heading. Go to the style.css file and let's add style to heading element inside the Jumbotron. Now let's put the dot and the class name Jumbotron and h2 element, opening and closing curly bracket. Now let's add some color to our text. Color #199EB8. Save the changes and let's have a look at our web page. Now we have added style to our heading element. Here we have completed our website. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.